Good evening, Will County. I am Pam Ford, and my nonprofit New Day Employment Network is sponsoring a 1 mile walk to celebrate and honor those who have lost lives to breast cancer, to diabetes. We're walking for the survivors, for the thrivers, for the caregivers. Our goal is to educate the public about prevention and detection. We want to reduce the risk of disease. And our aim is really to just increase breast cancer and diabetes awareness by
Yes.
sharing important information with the public, like the importance of health screenings, cholesterol, checkups, exercise, diet, vision care, dental care, and more. That's
That's good.
this. And in the last couple of weeks, I have been engaging with folks from our community talking about these various topics. And that is why we decided, in addition to the walk, to have these conversations we call from the heart, because it's from
Yeah.
the heart that we want to share this information. We don't want to keep it to ourselves, because keeping it to ourselves, that's what happens if we keep it to ourselves. It's be to us. We want people that we know, people that we love, to get this information so it can change their lives as well. And that's what's important. Now, as I was thinking about this forum that that we're having this conversation today, I thought about my father. My father in December will be gone 25 years.
Wow. Wow.
He died at 57. I am 55. So in 2 years, I will be that age that he died.
Wow.
Think about all the things he missed out on with his girls. And you know what? At that point, 25 years ago, who even heard of the diabetes? It was something we thought was for older people.
Yeah.
And I know, when he went to the hospital, the doctor said, "Oh, well, his blood pressure is 600 something." We were like, "Okay, what?" And then when he said his diabetes, we was like, "Diabetes?" Because nobody knew. But we did know, because we all witnessed, his eating, his smoking, his
Yeah.
drinking, back during that era, because that's what they did. And so I'm grateful that 25 years later, we're now taking the stigma, removing the stigma from this disease and talking about it, trying to normalize diabetes awareness. And that's important, because you know what? When I think about my dad, I think about the wisdom that I wear in my eyes that he gave.
Yeah.
I have his smile. Oh, and I, because he always told me his words. It's like, I'm like, oh, I love to read. He said, one of my words above the top of your head, because he was a great reader. He always would throw words out on us. I know I couldn't. Most of them I could figure out, but some of them I couldn't. But it's just those beautiful things that I always remember, but I wasn't able to share the last 25 years. So I don't want anyone else to have to go through this. And that is why during this discussion, I want to talk about, the importance of diabetes. And I know that you all had a family member that passed of diabetes. And Jeremy, I just want to know, tell us a little bit about your mom. Tell us.
My mom, my mom, that was my best friend. Everybody know that's my best friend. And to see her deteriorate so fast was heartbreaking, but it was also a moment of awakeness
Mm,
because as kids, we knew our grandfather had diabetes. We knew our great grandmother had diabetes, but
Yes.
back
mm,
then they just had the sugar. The sugar. They had the sugar.
mm,
Everybody would
Yeah.
take their insulin, and then they're fine.
mm,
So So that's what we were doing with my mom. I am walking now. So that's what we were doing. My mom, she had the sugar. So we're like, okay, if she take her insulin and eat right, she's gonna be fine. But that's the hard thing. The eat right part will get you.
Yes.
And that's
Oh
what
my
got
God.
her, the eating
That's
right.
good. Mhm.
So she would eat and she would do fine for a little while. We'd be good. We would be good. And then we would we would be in the hospital. If she was if she didn't go to the hospital for a week, we would celebrate.
mm,
Wow.
Because she was she wasn't at the hospital for that week.
Yeah.
So it was about, but seeing my mom go through it realized how serious it was.
Yeah.
Because what it was, like you said, people had it and don't know she had it since the 90s and never knew
Mm,
until 2009.
mm,
So she had it for, and
Oh,
that's why it progressed so bad because she had it for years
yeah.
mm,
without taking care of it. And what had happened was she worked as a correctional officer, and she took the
mm,
physical. You know, you have to take the physical,
mhm,
That's not right.
and the doctor asked her, "Do you have diabetes?" And she said, "No, I don't have it." So if he would have detected it then, when she said, "No, I don't have it," you might be able to do this phone call with my mom, and she would have been able to take care of herself.
mm,
But for me, like I was her caretaker in the last years of her life. That was very hard for me to see the effect of diabetes. Like I said, it was the sugar. You eat right, don't drink pop, don't, and you fine. But what people don't realize, yes, your sugar could be high. That could be an issue. But my mom's issue was her sugar was always low,
Low. Yes.
mm.
always low. That's when she went to a coma. Her sugar was in the 20s,
Wow.
Ooh.
and the doctors couldn't even understand it. They're like, because she would still be functioning even with that low sugar.
Mm,
And the doctor told her plenty of times that you should be dead. And they would tell me, your mom should not be here. She should not be functioning. So what it was, I think, when she realized how hard diabetes was, she gave up.
Yes.
mhm,
Because it's a fight, a fight. By the grace of God, I don't have diabetes, and I'm doing everything. I'm following my aunties to prevent diabetes. But my older brother, he is diabetic.
mm,
We have several, and it's not an old person disease because several of our cousins
Yes.
are in their
Yes.
early 40s, all
mm,
diabetic. So it's hereditary, but it also steps to prevent, like as you can see, my aunt. There are steps to prevent it from progressing to where it went with my mom. Because I never want to see anybody get to that point where my mom was at.
mm,
Because people don't know the half of it. There were times when 2 o'clock in the morning, her sugar dropped to 10, and I'm up, and she's up screaming. But she goes when that happened, she went back to a child's mindset. So in her head, she was back as a little kid in the house because we were in her childhood home. So she went back to the mindset of a little kid. So I don't wake up in the morning, her calling her sibling, telling her to come help with something from childhood. It's like you're 57. So
mm,
diabetes affects every organ in your body,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
every organ,
mm. Wow.
every organ in your body affects. And that's what we don't realize. Diabetes is becoming the number one killer of Black Americans
Yeah.
because
Mm,
we don't take it serious.
Yeah.
We think it's something that okay, the doctor said I got sugar, just let me change my diet. It's more than change your diet. You got to change your lifestyle.
Absolutely.
mm,
Oh
It's
my
a
God.
lifestyle change, not just a diet change. Because you could not eat all you want, but if you don't get up and move, you still gonna be still have issues. That she
mm,
wouldn't eat like my auntie Coco, my mom was good, 100 pounds soaking wet on a good day.
mm,
So people like, was your mom a big woman? No, not at all.
Mm-mm.
Small woman,
Mm-mm.
and the doctor told her. And the crazy part about it is her doctor told her within a year, I want to take you off all your medicine. He
mm,
said, my goal is not have you taking medicine, but if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you know where it's going to end up. Because, and that's what my doctor told me. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you send your mom, you send your grandfather, so you know exactly what road it's going to lead to. So my thing is like I'm passionate about this because I don't want to lose another family member. I don't want to lose another person to the disease
mm,
because it's something that doesn't have to be a death sentence. But
mm,
it's so scary because when I went and got tested, I was shaking. I was nervous, like, oh, I don't want diabetes. I don't want diabetes. I'm like, I'd rather have cancer to have diabetes right about now because, and that was me being selfish. I'm like, I don't want to change what I want to eat, what I want to eat.
Yeah.
I want to drink what I want to drink. And I don't want nobody telling me, oh, you can't do this, you can't eat that. But
Wow.
you have to. You have to. Like I remember my grandfather, diabetic and all, he drinking RC Cola. You go to his house, he always had RC. Knowing good well he's not going to drink that. But then we seen what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to turn it over to my aunt because she's the one that's turning the page and she's doing an amazing job. She's an inspiration to me, my brothers. I tell everybody my job is on my aunt. When they talk about diabetes, I said, no, there ain't no death sentence. My aunt is doing it. And like you want her, if you want information from her, I'll give it to you because diabetes does not have to be the end of your life. So now I'm gonna turn over to my aunt, First Lady Coleda Blair.
Thank you so much. I'm getting emotional. I thank you, Jeremy, and I wanted you to come on with me because you actually saw your mother suffer, through the whole thing. And Pam, for real, she stayed more in the hospital than she did in her home. And so a lot of people think it's just sugar. I'm gonna stop doing this, but it is a lifestyle. And I got diagnosed with diabetes in 2010, but I didn't stop doing anything until 4 years ago. And so 4 years ago, I made this thing a lifestyle. And so because of I watched my sister, and every time she would go to a hospital, I would go to a hospital, and we follow her around to different hospitals because I'm in the kitchen. I usually do Zoom in the living room, but I'm doing it in the kitchen for real because diabetes is just a relationship with the kitchen. So it's what your relationship is. And so now I got to change my relationship with the kitchen. I can't cheat like I used to, just like a relationship. We want to cheat. Some people want to cheat. But with diabetes, you can't cheat. You can't have a love affair with fried chicken and all those different things. And so for me, it is hard. I do cry. I do get frustrated. My flesh is want what it won't. And so, but I had to change it. And I just had a doctor's appointment Monday and to see where I was at in my numbers, and I was good in my numbers. And you usually have to go every 3 months to get checked with your A1C. And so this time he told me, you don't have to come back in 3 months. You could come back in 6 months. But it's a lot of work because I love to eat. My husband here, he loves to eat. And so what we do is we just choose the wrong things to eat. But then we got to make it a lifestyle because like Jeremy said, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change. And then we have to exercise, we have to move our bodies. Because I did see my father die, from diabetes. And so it is they say it's a generational curse, but I say it's a generational choice because I saw the choices that my sister made. I saw the choices that my daddy made. I love them so much and I still cry today, but I don't want to die like they died. So it was up to me to change my appetite. And then I got to a point where I learned how to eat right. And so this is what I would say to prevent it. When you go to the doctor, ask them to give you an A1C test so you will know where your numbers is for your diabetes. And so they'll let you know that same day, where you are. Are you pre-diabetes? And I had a girlfriend, they told her the other day she pre-diabetes. And so immediately we have to change the way, we just have to change our mindset. We just can't say, I'm just going to throw everything out and I'm starting. You got to change your mindset. And it do take a lot of time. And so, and then this is what happens. This is what we receive. This is our meter. And so this is why I live by, Pam, Jeremy. This is what I live by. And everybody said, oh, she getting small. It's not about getting small. It's about these numbers that's on here. And so when I get up in the morning, and I'm going to talk about symptoms real quick. When I get up in the morning, the first thing I do before I do anything, I brush my teeth, wash my face, and then I check my glucose number. And your glucose number in the morning should be under 120. If it's over 120, you got to check what you ate that night or what time you ate. And so if it's 300, because I'm type 2, so we can maintain. We got to maintain. That's what the lifestyle comes, so we can maintain it. So if I'm over 120 every morning, I'm eating the wrong thing. If I'm over 120, I ate too late because I can eat something good, but it'd be too late. And so in the morning, it's important because it's called a fasting reading. You shouldn't have no number at 200 when you fasted, right? Because you were asleep, you wasn't eating. And so that's why the morning is very important. So we got to watch what we eat, not just at night, but during the day. And so what I would say is the symptoms of those who have symptoms, you might be urinating a lot. That's a symptom. And you feeling thirsty. That's a symptom. Or you feeling hungry. That's a symptom. One of the symptoms for me was I was exhausted all the time, but I did ministry all the time. So I didn't know I had diabetes. I just thought I was tired from being in ministry and working. And so that's one of them. And then it messes with your eyes. Your eyes are blurry. A lot of people have diabetes retinopathy. They looking at every year. They have to look behind my eye to see how my eyes are doing. You can tell your diabetes is getting worse when you look behind the eye. So like Jeremy said, it affected my sister's whole body. It affected her heart. It affected her kidneys. It affected her feet. She had neuropathy. She walked on the balls of her feet because the nerves of it. I'm telling you, diabetes, it's slow. It's a slow killer. And so people keep eating and eating and eating. I'm good. I just got a little sugar. I'm going to take an insulin. I'm going to take my metformin, but it's a slow killer. And so when we see we have these things, weight loss, we have weight loss and feeling numbness, that means we probably need to check out A1C. And so that's why I started a nonprofit organization called Turn the Page on Diabetes. And y'all see my nephew on here, Jeremy Paige, and I'm Coleda Page. And so I don't spell Page Page. I spell it Paige because that's my maiden name. Yes. But the guy gave me that. He said, girl, you need to turn the page on diabetes. And when he gave me that, I ran with it. And so that's why I started going to school. I became a life coach because I wanted people's lives to change. I'm sorry if I'm getting emotional. And so I thought about my dad, I thought about my sister. And so I said, I want to help people that they won't die like that. I don't want to die. I know we all got to die, but we don't have to die suffering from diabetes. And so then I became a silver sneaker instructor certified so I can help people do better and do low impact workouts. Then after that, I opened my church up and open for the community and for people who want to come and work out. I started Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now I do it Mondays and Wednesdays, and they coming in, y'all. They older people because sometimes we think because we young we can eat anything, but it should start when we young. And so I'm gonna do this real quick. And so if you had them symptoms, please tell your doctor to check your A1C, and if you work on it. Start exercise. Go to the gym. If you ain't go to the gym, you can walk around the track. You can walk around your house. You can do strength training. You can do dumbbells sitting down watching TV. But this one thing, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, this machine will run your life. Because when it's high, your emotions high. When it's low, your emotions are low. And so you got to control it. It don't control you. You control it. And so this thing right here is very important. And I check my sugar in the morning and I check it at night. And the reason why I keep checking, for some people, they don't check it because they don't want to see what their sugar is. But you can only, the only way you can tell yourself what to eat is by this meter. And so if my sugar low, I know what to eat. If it's too high, I ain't gonna eat that. And so it tells you what to eat. So if it's high, I'm gonna have a small salad and a very small piece of meat. And so you see what I'm saying, Pam? And so we have this controls and tell us what's going on in the inside. I can buy weave, I can be fly, I can wear the best clothes and be jacked up in the inside. And so our meter tells us what we need to do. And so it's so important for you to take it. If you're diabetic, please check your sugar twice. And then I'm going to give you this. It's so important to have a colorful plate. So now I got to change my diet. These are some things I want to show real quick. This right here, my husband bought me these. I got a lot of these. This is for meal prepping, baby, and meal planning. And so if you go to work and there's a vending machine there and you ain't got no food, guess where you going? You're going to the vending machine. And so in order to keep yourself on point and work this thing and turn the page, you got a meal plan. And so it got your fork, it got your knife, it got everything in it. And what you do, it got sections. And so you would get you some vegetables, you would get your protein, you would get some lettuce and colorful. You want your plate to look like a rainbow. And so we can live longer if we just make small tweaks. Small. So if you frying, bake. If you frying, grill. So you change that. And then if you don't eat vegetables, you got to start eating vegetables, beans, peppers. And so you want a colorful pepper. You want it to look like a rainbow. And so,
Mhm.
so you got to, I don't like beets, so I ain't going to eat beets. So I choose all the vegetables that I like, and then you cook it in the beginning of the week, and you meal plan and you meal
Good.
prep. And so you got to
Yes.
prep that every day so you can have your protein, your starches. Now, I'm gonna tell you this trick: do not eat your heavy meal for dinner. Eat your heavy meal for lunch, and
Mhm.
then and then at the end of the day, then you bring in the light lettuce and the tomatoes and the vinaigrettes and all of that. And so you don't want to go to bed on a heavy meal. My last thing, and I'm gonna let you go. This is a bag. If you work, this is what I started with. This is a meal prep bag. And so when you go to work, you have everything that you need in here. So you can have your breakfast in here, you can have your lunch in here, and your little snacks. And it's good to have small snacks during the day and that you bring, not from the big vending machine and not from the bowls on people's desks, because they have candy bars. So it's so important for us to turn the page on diabetes. And all that is making small, healthier choices. And it ain't just for a week, y'all. It's for a lifetime. And that's
Right.
all I have to say about diabetes. So you don't have to lose a loved one, and you don't have to leave here. You just make small, healthier choices. And so it's all about your relationship with your kitchen.
Mm, Thank you so much, Coleda. Jeremy, is there anything you'd like to say before we close this session out?
Just make sure that you all take care of yourselves. Because diabetes is real, and it's killing us by the numbers.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all coming on, sharing your family's story, your history, because your history is our history. So many people out here, that's got the same history, but won't share it, but they'll listen and they'll inbox you for additional information.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
And
do.
that's the most important thing. And that's why we're
Yeah.
doing this walk. We're doing this walk to come together as a community. You have so many people who don't have a support network. They don't have any support systems. So when we come together and do this walk, that's the whole purpose. We want people to know about their screenings. I'm going to have information on the page, um, for on the page about where they can go and get health screenings at when it comes to diabetes. So they can just click on that and all the information will be there. But if nothing else, this is why having insurance is so important.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, if you don't have insurance, we're going to have information where you can actually go and get those tests done, for a nominal fee. We can go out to dinner. We can spend $50, out to dinner. I can go and take that 50 and get my blood work done if that's what it takes at the end of the day. So in closing, I want you all, again, I can't wait to see you all on October 8th from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
October 8th.
Yay! And we're going to be down at the old courthouse downtown. Now, at the end of the day, please hear this. Diabetes is blue. That's the color. Breast cancer is pink. But if you don't have pink or if you don't have blue, come as you are, because it's not what you have on, it's what you have. That's what it's all about. So I want to see you all come out. And if you can't walk the full 1 mile, if you can only walk 5 minutes. And guess what? If you don't want to walk, you just want to stand around and just chit chat with people just to support others, then come and do that. That's what this is about. So in closing, I just want to say thank you all so much for sharing your information. I know this is personal information. We went a little bit longer than we normally do, but it was worth it because this is your story. This is your story. And you don't want your story to be our story.
That's right.
Turn the page on this dreadful disease. So, Jeremy, thank you, Coleda. I call you Junior. And I thank you all for sharing your sister, Jeremy, for sharing your mother, and all the other information you've given, Coleda, because you give some great advice on your page every day. So, and I'll also put on there, if you give me that information, where they can go on your page to look at information that you're giving out that you do on a daily. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. See you all in October when?
8th.
October 8th. What time, Jeremy? What time, Jeremy? 9. There you go. There you go. All right. Have a wonderful evening, okay?
All right.
Okay,
See you in a
bye-bye.
week.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.